guys, welcome back. Today you're going to be listening to a podcast, and today we're going to be talking about puppy care. So basically all of the essential information that you would want to know if you were just getting a new puppy. Now I do have a guest with me here today. It's Dr. Caraballo of Dr. C's Mobile Veterinary Service. So thank you for joining us today, Dr. C.
Thank you, Megan.
I want to start off with talking about the age of the puppy. How old should a puppy be when you're bringing it home? What's a good age to get a puppy?
Best age, you're probably looking at anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks of age. That's when you should bring them home.
Okay, and because that's when they should be able to eat on their own. And
right. We want pups to start eating on their own about 3 to 4 weeks of age. By about 6 to 8, they should be eating on their own. So that's most of us will have the cutoff at.
Now, when you get a new puppy, a trip to the vet's office is a really high priority. So let's talk about vaccines. What type of vaccines does a puppy need?
Alrighty, so as soon as you get your new pup home, I do recommend seeing a veterinarian because depending on where you live, there may be certain vaccines that you'll need. Here in our area, the core vaccines would be the distemper, hepatitis, parvo, parainfluenza, and that is what the pup would receive at in 3 to 4 week intervals, anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks of age up to 16 weeks of age is what we recommend.
Okay, and so yeah, that's a good idea to check with your vet to see if your puppy might need something extra depending on where it is that you live. So if I get a puppy and I take him to the vet for the first time and get his first vaccination, does this mean that he is protected against disease?
It doesn't. So the maternal antibodies, they can inactivate the vaccines. And we don't know when that goes away and when the pup is susceptible to disease. So that's the reason that we give the boosters 2 to 4 weeks. So one vaccine will not protect your dog from an illness.
Okay, so it's because of those antibodies that we're not able to vaccinate puppies right away. From what I understand, it can be different depending on the individual. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Because maternal antibodies, like I tell you, they can inactivate it, and in sense that means the vaccine is useless. So we do want to vaccinate just because we don't know when maternal antibodies go away and when the dog's own immune system is going.
So how many vaccines does the puppy need?
Since we don't know exactly when maternal antibodies go away, most of us veterinarians will start vaccinating 6 to 8 weeks, and with 3 to 4 intervals between that. Depending if you're doing a 3 week interval between vaccines, the pup will get a total of 4 vaccines. If you do start at 8 and do 4 week intervals, then your pup will receive 3 vaccines before we would consider the fully vaccinated. Me, like I said, I prefer 2, 3, and 4 months of age, but I have worked at private practice where they start anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks of age, and they do them every 3 weeks.
And it would be efficient to be taking them for their vet visits when those shots are due, or do they need to see the vet more regularly at that time?
I think you find a veterinarian you like, and when you get the pup, just have them check it out, make sure everything's fine. If it's a protocol you agree with.
Okay, yeah, I think that's important to go to somebody that you do feel comfortable with, because you are going to have the dog for the next 15 years depending on the breed. So that's an important thing. And could you give me like the exact age that they would be protected from parvo? That's a big one, as well as other diseases.
Right, parvo is a big one in this town, and if it was my pup, I would vaccinate starting at 8 weeks with a 1 month interval between them, so 2, 3, and 4, and then after that last one, that's when I would say you can socialize and take your pet out without the scare of a disease.
And so that would be at about 16 weeks, is that correct?
Right, 16, 18 weeks of age.
What advice do you have for those that are worried about socialization? The people that are worried that if they don't take their puppy out before it's fully vaccinated, this will cause behavioral issues and other problems in the future.
So that's a good question. If you're getting your pup at 6 to 8 weeks and we're saying we're vaccinated then and they're fully vaccinated after 16, that's a 2-month window where most veterinarians wouldn't recommend you take your dogs out for walks or anything like that just because they may be susceptible to disease. That's a great time teach certain things, teach them how to be on a lead, and just make them a better pet. So when you do take them out there, they're well behaved.
So basically, when you do socialize them, they're going to have positive experiences and already have some training once they are out.
Correct. They can socialize with family members and with other pets at home. I think in the long run, and it's only 2 months after you get the animal till it's fully vaccinated.
And what about a rabies vaccine? Does a rabies vaccine need to be given to a puppy?
Definitely needs to be given. And most veterinarians, we're going to give it with their last booster vaccine.
Oh, okay, so the last time you're taking them in for a booster is when they would get the rabies vaccine?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then when are they going to need their shots again after that?
Most of us will recommend next-to vaccines a year after that. And then depending on where you live and you're a veterinarian, they may suggest different things. At that point, every year or every 3 years.
Let's talk about deworming. What is a good time to worm a puppy and why do they need it?
So most veterinarians, we're going to deworm during the first or second booster, or sometimes they'll even do them at both. Here in this area, we don't have a problem with any intestinal parasites, so it's not a big concern. In other areas, right, that may be something you do more routinely. Another thing you can do is just have fecal analysis run where if you're worried about any intestinal parasites.
So one of the reasons we don't have such a problem with that here is because of the climate, it being so dry. Is that correct?
Correct. It's just so dry here that we don't really have an issue with them.
And then I also wanted to talk about what are the benefits of spay and neuter.
As veterinarians, we are going to recommend spaying and neutering your pet. If they're not going to be breeders. With males, it reduces intermale aggression, roaming, and any testicular or prostatic. It can reduce some prostate issues. With the females, we recommend it before their first heat cycle because it can reduce the chances of mammary neoplasias, any uterine ovarian problems, since we do remove the uterus and the ovaries.
Hey, and could you clarify the difference between spay and neuter for us?
So a male dog, we neuter, we completely remove the testicles. Female, it would be a spay, and we go in there and remove the ovaries and the uterus.
And what's a good age to get this done if you decide that spay and neutering your dog is the right thing for you?
Most veterinarians, we're going to recommend anywhere between 5-6 months of age. Rescues will do them a little younger, but that is what is recommended, about 5 to 6 months of age. I would say before they're sexually mature and before the female's first heat cycle. So I would say anywhere between 5 to 6 months of age would be a good time to get it done.
Well, thanks for listening to this podcast. I hope it helped you if you're getting a new puppy. And thank you, Dr. C, for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Megan.
Thanks, and don't forget to subscribe.